Hello, y'all on YouTube. This is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. We're going to be doing a review, a special review of a knife I've had in my possession for a while right now. This is the Holt Bladeworks Morpheus. I've really enjoyed this knife. This is a fantastic knife, one that I very much would like to share some thoughts on. So let's take a look at this. All right, we're reviewing the Holt Bladeworks Morpheus. This is a cool knife I was able to get directly from Joe and Angie on Instagram when they had a drop. This is the Magnacut version. So this right here has Magnacut steel on it. You can see that mag right there. Something very unique about Holt Bladeworks is their beautiful milling. It's just phenomenal. Absolutely outstanding. I carry my knives, so it's a little dirty. Got stuff on there, but we'll clean that right off, right? But I do enjoy these knives. Look at the beautiful work. This is like a purple and pink anodization. It's kind of got a two-tone. I don't know if you can capture that with the camera. Looks really beautiful live. Really fantastic. Hidden hardware, the milling on the clip is fantastic. Everything is perfectly rounded. There's not a sharp edge, uncomfortable edge anywhere. Awesomely dead-centered, fully hidden knife. It is a flipper only. And if you're going to do a flipper only, you better execute that flipper really, really well. And that jimping better go as far out as you can to get some nice traction. And guess what? They really do. They really do. And the action on this thing is phenomenal. Now, it came with Delrin cage bearings, ceramic ball bearings. I'm not a fan of those. And they were okay for a while, and they got a little gritty, so I put Skiffs in there. And the Skiffs are just so much better. I'm just a fan of Skiffs. Yeah, I also have a discount code to Skiffs because I've bought so many Skiffs. After a while, Steve's Gift said, hey, you know, appreciate the support and talking about it, and said, you know, here's a coupon code. Maybe, you know, your subscribers might want to save a little money when they buy some Skiffs. So do recommend them. RNK10, save yourself 10% at Skiffs. Cage bearings. They also have thick washers if you're not a cage bearing fan. And you're like, man, I wish that cage ceramic ball bearing knife could be a thick washer because I like washers a whole lot. He has all of those. There's alternatives, so just check those out. Anyways, beautiful stone polished finish there. You can actually see a full reflection in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's a nice reflection, but it is stone washed. No sharp edge anywhere. The jimping up here, you can go over it really smooth, push down, and you get some traction, so it definitely works. I have large hands with big meaty fingers, so I'm right at the edge right here. I think extra large hands with big meaty fingers would be right on the edge. Anything bigger, you're going to be kind of over the edge, so just keep that in mind. Now, my hands, if you have extra large hands with regular size fingers, this is going to be about your grip. Double extra large hands with thinner fingers, this will be your grip. So comfortable, no hot spots. I hold this, it's beautiful all day long. Action is beautiful. You clear the detent right there. So you clear the detent right there, and because it's such a beautiful ramp, it's just buttery, controlled drop action, smooth. Yeah, so it could be a guillotine if you wanted it. Also, you can tune the detent on here. It was really crisp when I got it. I love the sound, the acoustics. I don't know if you can hear that. Let me see if I can get it really close. It reminds me of a bit like a Herman Sting, but I don't know. I like this acoustics better. I had a Herman Sting, and I like Herman. Herman's unique. It's different. This is like everything I wanted in Herman, and being a little more robust. I feel like it's just a little more of a beefy knife in that regard. Herman's very artistic, beautiful knife, and it's definitely one that's really, really well made. Do like Herman's a lot, but the one I had, the Sting, just was too sharp on the edge, and it dug in, and it was uncomfortable. I think that's what killed it for me. You know, I like to fidget with my knives, and if I'm fidgeting, and after a while you start digging in and it gets uncomfortable, yeah, then I just don't want to carry it. And I have a rule, if I don't carry it, it's a catch and release. And so that's what happened with the Herman. It became a catch and release. I actually owned a haptic too, and I like the haptic, but they were so similar, and I just never carried the haptic. And so I sold a haptic recently, and I'm keeping the Morpheus because that was my favorite one, and I really like the Morpheus. So I didn't do a review on the haptic. It's very similar to this. If you like the Morpheus, if you like the haptic, I feel like they're both similar. The other one was M390. This one's Magnacut. Love them both. I think they're both fantastic knives. Had no issues with this. So edge is crazy, crazy sharp, full flat grind. This is not a hollow grind on this one. I do know he does some hollow grinds, but it comes to a beautiful, nice slicey edge at the bottom. So yeah. Now Joe is the designer at Holt Bladeworks. He's the guy who makes the knives. one-man show there as far as makes them and creates them and all that stuff. So the anodization is just, it's next level anodization. You can see the anodization occurs inside as well. This is an inset liner lock, true inset liner lock. It is a titanium. I just want to make sure, is it titanium or is it steel? I can't remember. Was this bar steel? Yeah, it's a steel bar. It's a steel bar, but it is really well in there. It's locked in at a good 10-15%, I would say. You can see that over here. I would say probably. Now, I do carry my knives a bit, so it's a little bit of dust on there, and that bothers you. You know, hey, sorry, I use my knives. It's what I do. I'm trying to find my cloth. Where did I put my cloth? I don't know where my cloths are. I had some cloths that I was using. Now I can't find them. Okay, well, anyways, let me see if I can I'll use a napkin here. Maybe I can just get in there. I just wanted to clean off the lock bar where there's some dust on there. Can we look on there, see where it's engaged? Yeah, so I'm going to say that's probably a good 20-30%. Yeah, 20-30%. So it's locked in there. No blade plate in there, nice and solid. No pivot lash. Let's listen to that detent, nice and clickety. You hear that? Nice click. Let's do it again. Nope, I closed it too fast. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Nice and clickety. No detent lash. It's in there really, really well. Beautiful knife. Love everything about it. I think this is just fantastic. The milling pattern is what really, really does it for me in a lot of ways. All the finishes, all the details, even the screws everywhere. Wonderfully T8s here, a T10 there, which is really fantastic. Captive pivot, fantastic. The way that works as well. I love the lock bar, the milling on the inside. Even the anodization that occurs on the inside and outside is just simply stunning. Simply stunning. Yeah, so that is something else. That's next level. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Take a look at this. Here's that beautiful blade. I'm going to wipe that down real quick with my napkin because I don't know where my cloth is, but there you go. Beautiful. It is a polished, stone washed, and then you have that beautiful texture milling on the handle. It's just simply stunning. I don't know if we're capturing the colors. It's like a purple and pink mixed together. Just really looks wonderful. I guess that's technically fuchsia or something. I don't know. I don't know my colors, and you can always correct me because I'll kind of go with it, right? Here's the back of it with that beautiful milling on that clip. Look at that. You can see the clip there, nice ramp. It goes in and out very easily. This ramp is not super aggressive. It's like not 90 degrees where it just catches everything. Love the milling texture on there. That's just phenomenal. Even on the back spacer as well. Then you can see the inside. See if we can get a little better angle here. There, you can see the inset liner lock. And so here's the liner lock engaged right there. It is a little steel nub. Very similar to what Brian Nadeau does. Some other people do that. It's a steel nub as far as the click. So you hear it like a double click when it opens. Like a click, click. You hear that? It's not just a single click. I like that. It's kind of a cool acoustic to it. And the crisp acoustic. And then when it closes, it's just a really nice click there. Yeah, really a lot of phenomenal finishes everywhere on this knife. You can see that all the way around, Even the jimping right there is really nice. The jimping on here as well is really nice. Goes all the way to the end, very functional. You can get some good actuation there going. Love how the captive pivot works really well. So just a really outstanding knife in many regards. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'll go ahead and do that. Sure, let's zoom in here. There's a nice little view of that knife. It's just simply stunning. Beautiful, beautiful, nice full flat grind. Like everything about it. Let's look at the other side. So if you wanted to get a nice full view of the knife, you can see that as well. Just fantastic. All right, so that is the knife as far as the blade, the steel, the opening, the closing, and all that stuff. Let's go ahead and do some measurements. It's not a super light knife, but it's not super heavy. There is weight relief when I look at the inside, so I'm expecting 4 ounces, maybe more, 4.5, I don't know. 4 ounces, exactly 4 ounces. So there you go, 4-ounce knife. That's not bad. Surprisingly that I was close. All right, I'll move my napkin out of the way. All right, so let's look at the overall length of this knife. It's not a super short, it's not a big knife, but it's not a small knife. So we're looking right at just a hair shy of 7.5 inches. I want to say 7 and 7/16, 7 and 7/16 long. The overall grip area, you're looking at 3 3/4, right? You can do a little trigger choke up pull, but it gets you over 4 inches, but you know, be careful. Blade length right here, you're looking at 3 1/4 inches. If you go to the top of the scale, overall cutting length, you're looking at 3 3/8 as well. So, you know, there's my big, large hands with big meaty fingers, right? Let's look at the blade stock thickness. We can get that right there. So I don't think it's super thin, but I don't think it's gargantuanly thick. It's like not like a Medford or something, right? So hopefully 140th, I don't know, 140,000th. What do we get? 135 thousandths of an inch. So not bad. I'm going to go down just a little bit more to see if that stays. Yeah, 135.5 thousandths of an inch. So not bad, not bad. It's not super thin, but it's not super thick, and it's a beautiful, full, flat grind. Comes to a nice slicey edge, which is really, really phenomenal. All right, so that's the blade stock thickness. So what category are we in? Are we a higher end knife, $300 to $600? Absolutely not. No. Are we in the custom mid-tech range? Yes, yes we are. These knives typically run about $925 to $975, depending on what you get. You can be well over $1,000 on these knives. Something like this is typically $975. But the anodization that's done on here is a little extra special, right? You can get a plain Jane one without it, or you can get this one with all the extra anodization. So this one's probably about $975, just shy of $1,000. So it is, I would call this some people will call this a mid-tech custom. I call it a custom knife. Now it's like, some people it's like, well, it's gotta be hand, you know, gotta have a hammer and an anvil and put it through a forge and melt the steel yourself. And I'm like, okay, fine. If that's a full custom to you, great. It's not my category of custom. Custom is you're in a shop and the designer, the maker of the knife, she's the one making the knives, right? They're the ones with the hands on. They're the ones doing the stuff. You know, when you get into production, like, you know, if you had a Rick Hinder early production, when he was doing everything, that would be mid-tech custom, I think. Now that he's much bigger, he's doing more production stuff. He's definitely in the mid-tech now. I wouldn't call him, production like you outsource it to overseas or somewhere, but I would call it mid-tech because he's still hands-on and folks are still doing a lot of checks and things on there. But this to me is mid-tech to custom. This is more of a custom knife because I know Joe does everything as far as this knife. He puts it together, he assembles it, he tunes it, all that stuff. So to me, this is a custom knife, and the price is accordingly. Now, he has made one knife that is my dream knife to own if I ever get a chance. It is a Ghost Timascus, or maybe it's a it's a zirconium and titanium together. I don't know what you call it. Mokutai, I forget what it is, but beautiful, polished, and then it has like a Damasteel blade and accents all around that just look really phenomenal. He has it on where he has some screenshots on his website. It's like the dream knife that I like to own, but I bet it's like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, right? It looks expensive. But that's the kind of a cool knife. That's a full custom, right? That would be so you get a blade show and maybe a lottery or what have you. So there you go. Now I have a little something on that knife and I keep not getting it off. There we go. All right. All right. So beautiful, beautiful. Everything about this, I like that. So that's definitely where we're at. So purpose, EDC hard use collection piece, absolutely a collection piece. For most people, this is a collection piece only. It's a safe queen. I get that. Some people would never carry this knife. Now, every knife I own in my collection, I carry. Every knife. Now, does that mean I'm going to go out chopping wood with this, cutting branches and stuff like that? Absolutely not. Now, I will have usually a 5th pocket knife in my pocket so that if I need to cut something that's a little more difficult or challenging, I'm going to use that pocket knife, right? So I'll have a slip joint or another 5th pocket knife or whatever that can be for that type of hard use that I need to do, right? Yeah. If I'm carrying this knife, I'm not going to be carrying that knife. But this knife, I do enjoy carrying. I like to carry dates on church, around the house. It's a beautiful knife. I love opening boxes, different things. It's incredibly sharp. Action is beautiful. It's fun to fidget with. It's just a joy to carry. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the, you know, as I was starting to get grails, this was definitely up there in the top grail list. So I went to Blade Show Texas, handled one, and I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, it's amazing. And that's what convinced me, right? I got a chance to handle one. Kind of like what happened with the Rosie. I got a chance to handle a Rosie, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So yeah, it's a collection piece, but it can also be an EDC use. It could be a hard use. Now, Joe carries, he's got another version. I forget, that's a newer one that he makes. He actually uses that, hard uses that knife. But of course, you know, if you're the guy who makes the knives, you can go polish it, whatever. It's fine. You know, he can certainly do that, right? That's his call, his decision. But I like this knife and everything about it. I enjoy everything about it. I think it's just really fun, useful, practical, aesthetically pleasing, ergonomic, brilliantly designed. The lines, everything, the flow is just simply gorgeous. There's a lot of thought that was put into this. So yeah, really like this. Really like this. So for me, it's going to be an EDC. It may not be a hard use. Hard use if you consider opening letters or boxes, maybe. Right? I'm not going to go open up like a giant crate for a treadmill or something where there's staples and stuff. No. That's a different type of tool I'd use for that, for sure. So yeah, that's where I stand on that one. It's definitely a collection piece for me, but it's one that I will EDC. May not hard use. So that's where I stand for this one and several other knives like that. All right, so what's the overall design? How do I feel about the handles? The open and close, the handles are gorgeous. One of the most beautiful things about Holt Bladeworks is their milling. Just simply stunning. Even right here, you can see the milling and the alignment of the milling here with the back spacer. Absolutely stunning. And then, of course, the opening and closing. That beautiful musical open with the flipper. You know, it's like, I'm not a flipper, single actuation, single open and closed kind of person, but if you're going to do it, you better do it well. And they do, just like Sheer Gorf does it. But the problem I had with Sheer Gorf is because of the frame lock. I had so many problems with the Quantums. I had several that I got a chance to check out. Thumb or whatever on the frame lock just made it not fun. Just made it not fun. I'd almost wish that I'd try a Sheer Gorf liner lock. I'm sure that would be better. But this, Joe just does such a great job. Just a fantastic job on this one. Yeah, so open and closing is great. Textures are just, you know, just setting the bar as far as I'm concerned. The jimping is useful, functional, works great on here, works great on the flipper. Really can get a nice grip and presentation on there. There's no lanyard loop, which is, I'm fine. The clip is outstanding. I think it's that just really works well. And then the overall feel, it's just a joy. Just a simple joy. The acoustic, the sound, comfort. Yeah, it is simply stunning. So great knife. Fidget factor on a scale of 1 to 10. Now it's a flipper only. And you're like, man, it's a flipper only. What can it be? Well, it's done so unbelievable well. I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3 for the flipper. I mean, because if you're going to do a flipper, you got to do it really well. And then if you're going to allow it to close, I mean, look at that cutaway. Beautiful. Chamfered there. Easy access. It's not difficult, not tiring. I mean, it's just ridiculously perfect. Love how this works. Just simply stunning. So it's a 3 as far as I'm concerned. As far as fidgety goodness for that 3, 100%. If you're going to do a flipper only, this is how you do it. This is setting the bar. This is absolutely well executed. Phenomenally well executed. So yeah, I like this knife a lot. I think if you like grails and there's, you know, you're not sure, I'd say Holt's are just phenomenal. Now, I did tune this one with Skiffs, so I have that beautiful control drop shut. I know typically he has that, you know, guillotine, almost like Grimsmo knives kind of thing, but you can tune this so you can have that nice control, and I really do enjoy that personally. That's my choice, my knife, right? I get to do that. So yeah, really nice. So my question is, or the question is it recommended? What are my final thoughts? It's a grail piece in my collection for a reason. It's probably in the top, it's definitely in my top 5. It's definitely in my top 4. It used to be in my top 3 and top 2, but now it's probably in my top 4. I don't know if it's going to be in the top 3. I've got a couple of new knives. I have a Skiff made blades Fugitive, and I have a Brown Knives Cortex XL, and I have my Rosie from Oz Machine Company, and so it's tough. It's definitely up there with all those 3. Those are my 3 top grails. But I have some really fantastic knives. There's a Koenig Arius that's in there. There's some custom Trevor Burger knives that are in there. They're all really, really phenomenal. But it's definitely up there in the top as far as grails, and I like it. I'm absolutely going to recommend this. This is one of those knives that I don't think you would be hurt to have in your collection. If you like the aesthetics, you like the way it looks, and your hands fit. Don't buy it just because somebody tells you to buy it. You don't have to have this knife in your collection just because, you know, that's what people who have nice knives have this in their collection. Guess what? I don't have a Herman Sting. I don't have a Chris Reeve Umnumzon. I don't have probably some other knives that were supposed to be in my collection. Oh yeah, the Custom Knife Factory Evo, Rotten Evo, whatever, 3.0. I don't have a lot of knives that you're supposed to have in your collection just because, you know, they don't appeal to me. And if this doesn't appeal to you, then this knife is not for you. Don't buy it. You don't need this in your collection unless you really like the look and feel and everything of this knife. I do. I love the aesthetics, the look and the feel of this knife. So yeah, it's definitely in my collection because I really do enjoy this knife. So there you go. That's my Holt Bladeworks Morpheus. What are your thoughts? Do you have a Morpheus? Have you handled one? Any ideas, any thoughts on this? Any feelings about it? Maybe you love it. Maybe you hate it. I don't know. Love to hear your thoughts. Don't, you know, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to like it, but tell me why. Is it too small? Not comfortable? You know, what do you feel like? You know, you can tell me, oh, that's just too expensive for a knife. Well, you know, a knife is worth what you're willing to pay for it. And if you're not willing to pay for it, then it's not worth it to you, and that's fine. Not everybody needs to know that it's not worth it to you, right? If you want to help people out in the community, in the comments, you know, give some substance to your response, right? What you don't like about it, what you don't care for it. You know, maybe for you, I'm just not a flipper only person, and as nice as that flipper is, it just doesn't do it for me. Fair enough. Fair enough. For me it does, but maybe for you it doesn't, right? Those are things that other people need to hear. And if they hear it, you know, they can make decisions as well. Maybe it'll help them from spending this money on this knife or putting the money toward another knife, right? Because this is in the area of, you spend a lot of money. And I almost recommend everyone needs to handle one of these to see if it's for you, right? Because he has some different designs out there. He has a larger one that I really, really want to get. This is the, like we measure, it's under 8 inches, right? So there's one that's over 8 inches, like 8 1/4, I think. And that one looks interesting. So yeah. So for me, it's absolutely recommended. I like the knife. I think it's a beautiful piece. If you enjoy it, I can tell you it's so good. It really is so good. The action is so wonderful. And if that means something to you, it's worth trying to check out. It really is. I really think you wouldn't go wrong in having that in your collection. So that's where I stand. You may disagree, but I'd love to hear comments. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting that like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, maybe would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you to everyone who watches the videos, who likes the videos, who enjoys the content, who's part of the comments, who's on the live streams. Thank you. Thank you to every one of you. I sure appreciate you. And if you haven't already, maybe hit that notification button down below as well so you can be notified of future content like this video. And a big shout out to all of my channel members. Thank you. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. You allow me to do a lot of things way sooner than I ever thought I'd be able to do because of your support of the channel. I am grateful to every one of you. Thank you. If you thought, hey, man, that's really cool, I'd like to become a channel member, I'd like to support the channel, I would love to have you. There's a link down below in the description for 3 different tiers. Would be honored to have you as part of the channel. Don't ever feel obligated to. If you want to, great. If you don't, totally fine too. Whatever you want to do. Either way, I am totally honored just you watching the videos, being part of the channel. Thank you. And as a small way for me to say thank you, I do a once a month members giveaway to the channel members. So if you do decide to become a channel member and you thought, ooh, giveaway, well, maybe I'll become a channel member. Well, it's usually a nicer knife. Because you've been so generous with the memberships, I want to be generous back to you. So I make sure I give away a really nice knife. So that's part of the monthly giveaway for the channel members. And secondly, all brand new channel members get a channel sticker. I'd love to mail you a channel sticker with a little note for me saying thank you. I just need your name and address. So email me with your name and address and I will be happy to mail you a sticker. So thank you to channel members. Appreciate you. Really do. Sometimes when I didn't feel like putting content on, you guys kept me going. You really did. You motivated me. So I'm very, very grateful to you. Thank you. All right. If you haven't already, check me out over on Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week.